Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, November 19th, 2020. I'm Keith Tebow. This week, COVID-19 cases continue to rise across Fall River, Massachusetts, and the country. What does it mean as we head to the Thanksgiving Day holiday? A rise in valuation will likely result in a tax increase for Fall River homeowners. And as we head toward Thanksgiving, one local church will continue providing meals to the poor and lonely, while local retailers hope for a boost on Small Business Saturday. All this and more coming up. Cities and towns across the Commonwealth continue to see record-setting high numbers of new COVID-19 cases, just as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday when we traditionally gather with family and friends. The uptick in cases has been attributed to people letting their guard down at social gatherings. Governor Charlie Baker this week says, as difficult as it may be, we need to rethink how we celebrate Thanksgiving this year.
If we treat this year just like we treat every other Thanksgiving, it's quite likely that it will trigger a significant spread. And we know that that leads to serious illness for many, and in rare cases, death, especially among our senior citizens. This virus, as we all know, thrives in indoor social environments where people let down their guard. We saw what happened in Canada following their Thanksgiving in October, where they had a big spike in cases literally almost 2 weeks to the day after their holiday. And we simply can't afford to have that happen here. The Department of Public Health has put out guidance to help plan for a safe celebration. The best way to celebrate Thanksgiving is to only gather with members of your household, the people you live with. Any group gathering beyond this poses a significant chance of spreading the virus. DPH's guidance outlines the risks associated with gathering and has some tips about how important it is to wear masks and how to prepare food and serve it safely. That information is available at mass.gov/Thanksgiving 2020. And as a reminder, our indoor gathering limit is 10 people for private gatherings.
Yesterday, Fall River saw another record in terms of new COVID-19 cases at 158. During our weekly conversation with Mayor Paul Coogan, the mayor tells us that the city has been averaging around 80 new cases a day, with numbers lower on Tuesday. So he doesn't see yesterday's number as an aberration, but rather likely a correction. Central Falls, Rhode Island this week announced that it will be shutting down indoor dining to curb the spread of the virus. Even as Fall River has one of the higher infection rates in Massachusetts, Mayor Coogan doesn't foresee taking the step to unilaterally imposing tougher restrictions here.
We're going to make a decision that's based on the data in front of us. We haven't seen restaurants that we can attribute spikes to or cases, significant number of cases. And again, I remember when there was a lot more PPE money around and we closed down the restaurants, they had a fallback position. Some of these people now that pay a mortgage or insurance or anything, they have no idea where the money's going to come from if we shut them all down. I did see, obviously, today Attleboro City Hall closed. They had 10 positive cases and 9 presumptive. Now, that's a different animal altogether because you have an identified cluster in a building, and the prudent thing to do is shut it down for a few weeks and clean it up. If that's the case in any restaurant or in any building, then I think that we would definitely take a step back for those people in that building.
The new chief medical officer at Health First Family Care Center says even though people are focused on curbing the spread of COVID-19, they also need to pay attention to other healthcare concerns. Dr. Eric Vaught joined the Health First team in July. He says the center has and will continue to play an active role in diagnosing potential COVID-19 infections, even though it no longer serves as a drive-up Stop the Spread testing site.
On October 31st, the state of Massachusetts made a few strategic decisions when it came to community-based testing. Across the state, they picked locations in each of the communities where they wanted to continue the Stop the Spread initiative. Health First, unfortunately, was not one of those sites selected to continue community-based testing. However, our patients and those in the community that would like to be tested, or that are part of our patient population, are still welcome to come to the health center and get tested. And the best way they can do that is calling our health center at 508-679-8111, and we'll get them set up with a time to either see a provider and then get tested, or to just get tested here at our facility. And so we continue to do a couple hundred tests each week, but our community-based testing did end a couple weeks ago.
Dr. Vaught says the rate of infection at the center mirrors the citywide rate of about 15 to 16%. Since the onset of the pandemic, Dr. Vaught says people have become more isolated and have been fearful or unwilling to seek proper medical care for other ailments that may arise, a condition that may have long-lasting community health consequences.
The far-reaching effects of 2020 and just the effects of the pandemic on health, I think, are going to be felt for decades to come. We have seen people have barriers to being able to get a mammogram for breast cancer screening, or a colonoscopy for colorectal screening, and those things are going to have a downstream effect on people's health. And so, as a community health center, we've taken a very forward approach to outreach to those patients, to work with our specialists and our folks at South Coast and St. Anne's to get those folks in and get the screening that they need. But you're right, it is something that we're going to have to monitor over the next decade.
The Fall River City Council this week voted to set real estate tax rates for fiscal year 2021. The residential tax rate approved by the council is $13.84 per $1,000 valuation, a drop from the $14.45 rate of fiscal year 2020. The commercial property rate will be $29.71 per $1,000 valuation, down from $30.61 last year. In the face of the financial burdens caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the council voted to shift the burden of taxation to commercial property owners at the highest allowed factor of 1.75. Despite the lower tax rates, homeowners can expect to see an average yearly tax increase of $116.53 based on an average home value of $251,600. Commercial property owners will see an average decrease in taxes of $306.90 based on an average value of $647,000. Board of Assessors Chairman Richard Gonzalez told the council that the reason for the residential tax increase stems from the rise in residential property values recorded in 2019.
What's happened is there's been a tremendous amount of growth in the single-family houses. We had 75 new properties come aboard in the city, averaging somewhere between 350 and 400,000, each of these that are being built today. We've also had a tremendous amount of increase in the 2 families, 3 families, and apartment building sales. And this is due to the fact, we believe, that Fall River is becoming a strong housing market in comparison to other communities that were close by or proximity to. And what's attractive to these people are, number one, the low values, the low tax rates in comparison to communities our size, such as Taunton, New Bedford, Brockton. We're on the lower end. And probably due to the fact that at some point we're probably going to get the rail in, and that's adding to the increase in value as well. So when we look at the numbers, this is what's brought us. We actually brought in this year, and I'll get to that page, new growth. We had a good year. We brought in $2,178,787. And from that growth, we picked up 53 million in valuation from the residential side versus 6 million on the commercial side. So you can see where our growth is going. Right now, it's going on the residential side versus the commercial side.
Mayor Coogan says all categories of residential property have seen increases in value.
We've never had $350,000, $400,000 housing developments being done in the city. And now we do with Highland Woods and the one also behind Royal Crest. Those houses are valued at a significant number. I mean, I know a friend of mine, he's doing a development on County Street, and the houses on County are going for $300,000. So there is a rise in the value of property in Fall River, and especially in our three families. I mean, we're routinely now hearing three families going for sale for upwards of $400,000. I mean, that's a natural. I mean, that's a hell of an increase in prices, which then triggers the taxes. So, we're trying to balance it out, which is why we went to the highest possible factor we could to benefit residents. And it works in the converse for businesses a little bit because they're not doing as well as the residential homeowners and their property values right now.
It's several months late, but on Monday, Mayor Coogan will be delivering what he's calling an informal State of the City address.
Well, you can expect to hear a number of things we're doing in the city that I think are positive, and a little bit of a description about where we've come from with COVID and where we're going. Fall River, again, was waiting for my State of the City address in March when we shut down, and that never happened. So we wanted to do something. I mean, I'll be giving another one in a few months in March, which probably, hopefully, will be in a different setting. Right now, with our limits on crowds and everything, we just did one up in my office, recorded it. It would have been the exact same speech other than the modifications for things that have gone on since March. But it's trying to keep the citizens informed about where we stand as a city and let them know that a lot of things are going on other than COVID, although it does seem like it overwhelms us sometimes.
The mayor says when he first took office, his priorities did not include dealing with a global pandemic.
We talked about roads, we talked about economic development, we talked about schools, we talked about people, we talked about policies, but we never got into this. And have this thrust on us, 8 weeks into an administration is very, very testing. But I believe that you're only tested by what you can't not handle. And I think we've done a good job in the city of Fall River. We've handled this to the best of our ability. We stay on top of it. Yesterday, we were delivering turkeys up to the veterans at Corky Row, and we, in the past, have delivered PPE to all of our nursing homes, whether it's local manufacturers making hand sanitizer or masks, and it just changed the job. It's work, and at the time, it transitioned to pandemic maintenance, and that's what we've been doing ever since.
You can watch the mayor's State of the City address this Monday on FRGTV Channel 18 beginning at 7 p.m. We'll have a follow-up as well next week. We'll take a break and have more FRC Media news right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Inventory Manager. Spectrum Lighting, located at 994 Jefferson Street, is looking for a full-time inventory manager responsible for implementing an inventory tracking system and documenting deliveries and shipments. Job number 142-32400. Delivery Driver. Pizza Hut, located at 155 Hope Street, is in need of a full-time delivery driver to deliver food to customers in a safe, courteous, and timely manner. Job number 142-22888. Retail Sales Technology Associate. Staples, located at 416 William S. Canning Boulevard, is seeking a full-time Retail Sales Technology Associate to respond quickly and resourcefully to customer requests and concerns on the sales floor. Job number 142-34544. Lincare Incorporated, located at 221 Weaver Street, is in need of the following full and part-time positions. Customer Service Representative, job number 142-23720. Driver Technician, job number 142-23716. St. Anne's Hospital, located at 795 Middle Street, also is in need of the following full and part-time positions. Clinical Manager, job number 142-33790. Medical Transcriptionist, job number 142-33811. For more information on these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Each Thanksgiving, most of us count our blessings for the ability to celebrate our riches at a family meal. But each year, there are thousands of people across the country who do not have the resources to experience that joy. And as more people are financially impacted by the pandemic, we're likely to see a worsening this year. Blessed Trinity Church on Plymouth Avenue hopes to make Thanksgiving a little brighter for those in need this Thanksgiving, providing a free holiday meal, albeit with restrictions that have come with the pandemic.
We've been, for the last 7 or 8 Thanksgivings, we've been having a community dinner for anyone in need or also anyone in loan on Thanksgiving. And one of the unique features that we've done is we prepare the meal Thanksgiving morning, and then we serve it to everyone who comes through the door. And then at the end, we'll sit down and we all enjoy the meal together. And it's been wonderful. Last year, we served about 150 meals, which is about the capacity of what we can put out of the kitchen. And unfortunately, this year we're not going to be able to do that. And a lot of people have asked, well, Father Rob, Kathy, how are we going to be able to do this? And after some thought and reflection, we decided that we could do it as a takeout dinner. So we'll provide the meal again on Thanksgiving Day, beginning at 12 noon. But this year it'll be very different. Folks will go to the back door of the church, and we'll be handing off a home-cooked Thanksgiving meal for them.
Father Rob's wife, Kathy, says the pandemic has made it a little more difficult for all her volunteers to help prepare the holiday meal.
Yeah, so this year, a little bit different. We always have a great bunch of volunteers. We're limiting our volunteers this year to stay within the guidelines, but we'll still be preparing a home-cooked meal. We'll have our volunteers here Thursday morning to do some of the prep work, and then they'll also be the ones that are packaging the meals, and then we'll be handing the meals out to people right at the door. They can line up, come get a meal and go. We ask everyone social distance, wear a mask. So we're going to try to keep it, the same great dinner and togetherness as much as we can, but we're also going to abide by all the rules.
Blessed Trinity Church is located at 1340 Plymouth Avenue. Takeout meals will begin to be distributed at 12 p.m. Thanksgiving Day and will continue until all the meals are gone. Small Business Saturday is next weekend, and One South Coast Chamber co-CEO Michael O'Sullivan says despite the economic burdens caused by the pandemic, it's still important for shoppers to consider patronizing local retailers, either in person or online.
The world has changed, and it's important that people realize and understand that shopping online is something that people like to do. And if you don't do it, it's going to be more difficult to generate sales over time. But we also still love the personal connection and getting in and getting and shopping firsthand and looking around and seeing what the individual stores have. I love to walk around and go to small businesses with my wife and just see what's going on and talk to people, and you get a really good feel for how things look for a particular shopping season. So I think that's important, but the business mix has changed a lot. You need to be online in addition to continuing to have a store.
COVID-19 has made it more important than ever for local businesses to get creative in enticing shoppers to buy local.
People are talking, they're trying to come up with better promotions and better ways to, to just be creative and get people in the store. Because even the small stores have, if you've got a very small square footage, you're still limited with how many people you can actually have inside your store at one given time. So, you really have to be creative to try to get people in, to get people to buy, to get people to shop at off hours. I've seen a lot of retailers locally and around the country in the last few months, really, actually starting promoting holiday shopping much earlier in the year so that when it gets really crazy in December, they're not affected as much by the limited number of people that they can have in their store at one time. And I thought that was very creative.
We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Smokey. Smokey here, he's a short hair, he's all gray. He's about 9 years old now. He is a nice older gentleman. As you can see, he does like his attention. Not much play left in him, but that's understandable given his age. He mostly just likes to hang out, occasionally come over, say hi, get some pets, that sort of thing. So kind of a cat that you can kind of hang out with more than run around the house, play with, that sort of thing. As far as children are concerned, I actually think that he would probably do well with most, I'd say every age group, as long as they were respectful of him. Like if you had younger kids, as long as they weren't too rambunctious with him, that would be fine. Around him, he would probably tolerate. So yeah, he's got some versatility. If you'd like to meet him, come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Today with us we have Patrick. We're not too sure of his breed. I want to say he's a Terrier mix. He does get along with other dogs. He wouldn't do good with cats. He's very active and playful. He probably would do better with no kids. He's on sit. Paw. No, that's right. You don't know. You know sit though. The only trick he knows now is sit. He's pretty intelligent though, so you could probably teach him a couple of the other basic tricks. If you want to come down and meet Patrick, we are located at 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Mass, at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. I know Patrick would love to meet you.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. When programming note, we'll be taking next week off from the show as we celebrate the Thanksgiving Day holiday. But please continue to visit our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Please enjoy the Thanksgiving Day holiday, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.